Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM, like to welcome back a man who's been very busy of late, James Cootes. Councillor James Cootes, welcome once again to Beach FM.
Kia ora, John.
Great to talk to you. And I believe that you went to the opening of the Otaki Yard on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. We had a nice little blessing there at 6:45 in the morning. Rawari there blessed the site for us in the opening of the yard, along with his worship the mayor with a few words, and myself and the organisers. It was a fantastic morning. I think probably made more special on the back of being in lockdown. So having spent a couple of months not having a lot of contact with people, to see the place just bustling with activity, and a real mix of local people as well as people from out of town. So that was quite... it was quite a different experience. It's hard to kind of put words on. I guess when you're starved with something for a while, to see that the smile on people's faces and a lot of people out, it was quite encouraging.
So that's wonderful. It's great from the social point of view, people getting together, because I've got a feeling that these markets are at least as much social as they are commercial. But the commercial aspect is important as well, isn't it?
Yeah, look, absolutely. And it's interesting with that site. So I've worked with the owner of do my best as a ward councillor to work with anyone that's interested in progressing Otaki and or contributing or investing, not necessarily just progressing. It's and so, likewise when hunting and fishing opened and they had some issues with their consent, I assisted them a little bit with being a conduit sort of between them and council, and Antonio's Pizzas as well. And so I mentioned those other two because it hasn't just been the yard, that's sort of been doing things in Otaki. But I have worked with them over the last 2.5+ years and met with them on a number of occasions. And they've got quite a big vision for the portfolio that they own in Otaki, because they have the site there and they have a number of the other retail stores through the main street there. So, I have to say, I know there can be some criticism out there when, you use the dirty word developer, but they certainly have, I guess, a heart for the community, regardless of what community they are in. And Otaki is not the only place that they've done developments in New Zealand. So, it has been a pleasure working with them, I should add.
Is it your impression they've got further ambitions for Otaki?
Well, look, when you say for Otaki, they have further ambitions for the portfolio that they own in Otaki. They've been careful, certainly in the dealings that I've had with them, that they don't have, I guess, plans or a vision for Otaki itself as a town. We've been working with them around the work that Elevate Otaki does and the revocation for State Highway 1. They're keen to be involved in all of that, but they certainly see their place in Otaki as, another retailer or, sort of chain of retailers in terms of the sites that they own. I've never got the impression that they, sort of see them as changing Otaki. That being said, I think it's been mentioned that they're spending around $5 million. That's no small investment in a small town. And, it's interesting because I saw there's a little bit of, when I say criticism, it's understandable, but around the traffic and parking issues over the weekend, and look, I don't take that lightly, but on one hand, we've got issues if there's no one parking there and the streets are empty and the shops are quiet. So, I mean, if we've got a problem where people can't find a park and the place is bustling and, traffic's having a bit of difficulty getting through, that's a good problem to have. It says that we've got a lot of people coming to our town, and I'm not ignoring the issue around, people's travel times. Ultimately, the expressway and the bypass that comes with it will address that. We're hoping as a town, not just the Otaki Yard, but as a community with the retail offerings there, that we, do cement ourselves as a destination. And I say that in the sense that we already are. People say we need to become a destination. I think we already are. We just need to hold on to that title and build on it, from there.
And I think that is the battle, or the challenge, not so much a battle, because yes, it certainly is a destination. People come up from Wellington in particular to that retail strip, and the challenge will be to make sure that is the case in the future as well. James, could I ask you, in your dealings with the various entities that you've mentioned, is this as Councillor James Cootes or as part of Innovate Otaki?
That's a good question, John. I don't know which hat I'm wearing it sometimes as well. And, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, certainly when I've worked with them around their development, it has been with my ward councillor hat on. But equally, at times there are opportunities that pop up around the Elevate Otaki stuff. So, the work we've been doing around the Otaki identity has sort of dovetailed, and it's also helped to give them, confidence in the investment that they're making to know, what our plans are for Otaki. And as an example, I mentioned to you in an interview a while back that we were working on the Otaki identity. It was sort of held back a little bit from COVID-19, but we're due to launch that identity for Otaki very soon. We're just working on some large images to go up around town and be printed and installed. But in the process of that, we're identifying sites around Otaki that we could use for the launch of the Otaki identity. And the Celtic site was one of the many sites that we'd identified. And then before we'd even approached them, they approached us to see whether we would be prepared to co-invest in a large mural on the site. And so it was almost an absolute gift for us, because it was going to cost us more to put a sign up ourselves on their location. And if you haven't seen it already, there's a fantastic mural that's been done by Fiage there with just a sneak peek of the identity that we've created for Otaki, which has the Manakitanga small town, big heart. So we were thrilled to be able to get that up there and also get national coverage on, I think it was 3 News or News Hub, for the small price we paid to contribute to that large mural. You couldn't have bought the 30 seconds or whatever it was on national television for that sort of money. So it was pretty cool exposure, and pretty neat to see, something that we've been working on national television as well.
Exciting.
Otaki to the nation.
Wonderful. Great stuff. Just before I leave you, James, the review of KCDC operations, the stakeholder relationships, and just how well the KCDC is working. I believe the report is coming out later this month to the public. I believe that you were instrumental in getting that review going. What were your motives for doing that?
John, look, I did spearhead the independent review, and look, I've been pretty public about it at the time that it was out of sheer frustration. I said at times it felt like you're on a treadmill going nowhere. We've worked hard in some areas around, trying to be open for business and working on our economic development strategy and so forth. And look, I respect the question, and I'm happy to answer it, although I think things have moved on in the sense that I don't really want to relitigate all the issues, other than to say that I'm looking forward to the review coming out and working with the Chief Executive and the Council on making any improvements necessary to move this council and the district forward. It's no secret that we've got a development community that are at times frustrated with council. I think that's a two-way street where, equally, we can have times we're frustrated with developers. And even on that Celtic site, look, I'll just be honest and say up front, I advised them to get a traffic management report, right at the very start, and they didn't. And so then it held them up later down the track when they were told they needed one because of the, to assess the impact on traffic flows and so forth. So, we need to do our job well, but equally the, developers and the development community need to take responsibility for the stuff that they need to do as well. But look, like I said just before, I'm just keen to see the results of the report, and then working on more importantly than the report itself is actually that we take heed to the advice in the report and actually put things in place to bring change, to move the district forward.
I can assure you, you're not the only one looking forward to that report coming out. James Cootes, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
106.3 Beach FM.